top premium, and I mean premium, like the
Let's go for the introductions.
okay.
Ooh,
Hello. Oh, someone has his webcam up.
who's that? Is it
Yes,
me?
someone. Yeah, it's
Well, it's
you.
not
Can
me.
you?
Okay.
Yeah. Can
Is that
you?
better?
No. Can you remove your webcam first? Removal.
Oh God, can you see? Okay,
There we go. That's better.
sorry.
Okay. No problem. Okay, so you saw that. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Flamish Experience. Is another episode. We're at episode 12 today, so we've been going on strong for 12 weeks, and it's getting better and better. And this week we have a special guest, someone I didn't expect to have on my show for a long time, but yeah, I'm honored to actually have Xbox Pope today. So welcome, Xbox Pope.
Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing? I hope you've all had a good weekend.
Yeah,
Mm.
I hope so. You too, man. I hope so. You too. And second of all, we normally had Graphic God on the show, but he need to cancel at the last second because of private reasons. So we have Removable Sanity instead.
I'm no graphic god, but I'm. It's fantastic to be here, and I'm in presence of Xbox Pope. I mean, of course I'm going to be happy.
And you got a little cheeky follow back as well.
Oh, thank you so much. If you could see me blushing, you would.
Yeah, so first of all, we have some gameplay in the background. This is the remaster of Crysis. We'll have some other stuff as well, like things will come up at random times. Sometimes I will be searching something I search for immediately when we're talking about it. But I'll guess we first gonna talk a little bit about XPope. Because there's been some interesting developments overall. So let's start a little bit with that you did a lot of controllers and consoles, like the one I have like on the bottom of the screen, which is a beautiful one. Thanks for that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
tell me a
not
little
a
bit
problem.
about yourself, man.
So, I mean, obviously, I've been designing for a long time, 30 years nearly. Um, and it's generally designing for brands around the world, you know. And that's kind of what I do in my day job. So every time you're buying some aftershave or washing powders or Pringles crisps, I'm the guy who does it. Yeah.
I'm going to now look at a few of my brands very differently.
Even your shampoos. If you've got lots of hair, I do lots of shampoos as well.
Can you give me brands, or is that not possible?
Well, it's Head and Shoulders I work for, and I
Wow.
design for Pantene, L'Oreal, max factor.
Oh, so really the big brands, you're like really high man
Yeah.
in designs.
Well, the clients I'm dealing with are like so Warren Buffett,
Mm.
the billionaire, and um,
Okay, that's
just
cool.
generally all the presidents of the brands. Um,
So actually having a
s-
console made by you as a fan as a fan of your work, like custom made, like you always do those graphics, like every week or 2 weeks that they
yeah.
come out, like they come out fast. Like I don't know how you do it that fast, but it's like insane. So yeah, doing
Well,
those for free, it's like it's
that's
just
30 years of experience for you, see.
yeah, that's amazing, man.
I think you
I
worked it out. It's about 30 minutes, isn't it? You do it in 30,
So,
30 minutes.
for years now, I've had a 30-minute rule
Mm.
because obviously after 30 minutes, you become like critical of your work, so you'll kind of like stop picking away at it and going, oh, I'll
ah,
just move this and
Hmm.
I'll kind of make this. In the thing that people need to understand about fan art is there is no right or wrong answer.
Hmm.
yes.
It just kind of happens. It's meant to happen naturally. So sometimes I'll take inspiration from what people have been talking about, or maybe I'll look back in your profile and I'll just see little things that you've maybe thought, oh, I like this and I like that, and then I kind of mash it all together. And
Okay.
so there's always little hidden things in the fan art that I kind of only the person that I do them for can see. Um, so it becomes more personal to them.
Okay, and can you give me a little bit let's put mine a little bit bigger here. Like what's the inspiration about mine? I do want to know. Like that's the interesting. I didn't expect this at all in the first place, but let's
Well,
just say.
I nearly did put a little dragon in there because obviously the uh, Flamish type thing, but
Uh-huh.
it was more just inspired from your logo, really. Like that hard steel, but then that softness of your logo at the top. Um, and I tend to always put a bit of texture in there in my art because unfortunately I get a lot of copycats. Um,
I bet a
let's
lot of people are trying to copy you
well,
badly.
listen, I don't look at art as being copied because
No, it's actually a good thing.
everything's been designed and
Mm.
done before. It's more inspired, but let's just say people do actually make them and sell them. Um, so just to avoid that a little bit, because it's not really that nice, not for me, but it's just not nice for the person, whoever I'm doing them for,
Hmm.
to see their controller made by somebody in, I don't know, China or somewhere, and then it's on the black market. Um,
Yeah, that's something I
so
would not
so I
advise.
kind of I know I get a lot of Microsoft people saying like, oh well, we would love to do your controllers, but they're too complicated. Um, but at no point do they ever come back and say, well, how can you simplify this? How can you make it where it is possible to make? That they just straight out rule it out.
Do you think that's
Um,
because the art itself is, and you may get blush or something, but it is so good, they probably wouldn't want to water it down. They think they'd probably lose the
exactly.
art itself if
Yeah.
you
So
water it down. So
so
therefore, it's no point because if you can either get it exactly right or nothing else.
Well, what I've kind of done, and the reason why I did these Pope controllers, and you'll probably there's 11 to choose from. Originally there was only
Let
10,
me let me
I
go
kind
through
of
They
them.
put
do, they do look amazing. Oh,
Let me
I
go
have a
thing.
through
clear,
them on
I
the
have a
video.
clear
Yeah.
favourite.
So
So
what I kind of done, what I had to, so what I was trying to do with the Pope controllers, the Pope art controllers. So there's that the fan art book. Yeah. So I was with the fan art book. I was just trying to say not because everyone asks us what's your favorite design, like which one it is.
It's like picking your favourite child, though, is it? Surely
Ex,
it's
it,
almost impossible.
it's impossible.
it's
And
for
and
everyone.
listen,
It's different as well. Like
I've well that's the strangest thing, right? So I've done over 3,000 designs, for people
Jesus.
because I've been doing this a long time.
Mm.
and there's probably little elements that you can probably see that I've used for other people's designs, but generally every single one's different, you know. Um, and what also people don't realize is I use music as the inspiration to do the design.
Oh wow, really? So
So
you plugged in as you're going through.
so I'll pick a song
Hmm.
and I'll keep it on repeat and until I'm finished. So it kind of like it creates the shapes. It creates, you know, whether something should be, you know, vibrant or jazzed up, or whether something should be harsh
That's wow.
and kind of like, you know, like the Frostpunk one there. You know, it's got this because it's obviously a game based on frozen wastelands. You know,
Mm.
um,
So it's almost like you almost like you put yourself in a blinkered state and let the art flow through you. I know it's a kind of a weird way of saying it, but it is. You know,
honestly,
you're
it
kind of
is.
like that.
Yeah, and if I was to show people how I do it, you would think I was doing it in like like fast forward mode because I work so fast.
Mm.
It's you know it's unbelievable to watch. Even people I work with can't believe I can do things at
But
such a
that's,
high
as you said,
high
30
speed.
years of experience, and you're speeding up, and you know the shortcuts, you know the little tricks and tips, and you know where you wish to progress to, isn't it? I suppose.
Well, exactly. You know when you've done like you know so many advert campaigns or prototype modeling or you know you know what works, what doesn't work. Um, but also at the same time, you know, as a creative designer, my job is also to push limits.
Mm.
So I understand there's rules and regulations for everything,
Hmm.
but it's my job to break them. Um, so sometimes when people say things, they go, "Oh, well, you can't do that. You know, it's impossible." Listen,
That's almost a challenge to you, isn't it?
it's only impossible because it hasn't been done yet. You know,
Mm.
um, it, nothing really is impossible. Uh, it's just how it all boils down to money at the end of the day. It's how much people want to invest into making something real, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I definitely know that aspect.
so when I did the Pope controllers, I could have easily just sprayed a controller yellow with a bit of sort of cyan blue on there
Mm-hmm.
and said it was something that related to cyberpunk. I could have easily sprayed another controller and said, "Oh, this one relates to I don't know, Doom or something, or Halo Master Chief." If I sprayed it green, but the idea of what I did is, and the reason why it goes back to possibly why I got a bit of hate because they were saying, well, these are, you know, they're $250. Like I'm buying an Elite for that, you know. Well, I know you can buy an Elite for that. I know exactly. But what they don't realize is this isn't a guy in his garage
Mm-mm.
spraying them. This isn't, this is on par. They're on par to exactly the same process that Microsoft make their controllers. The heat vac formed components, you know, they're not just sprayed
Well,
or
also, let's face it. Look at any other terms. You have a top tier artist that deals with some of the biggest brands in the world.
yeah.
What did you honestly think he's just going to
Well, I
give you
mean,
a 50 quid half
that's
can spray over with a stencil type
I,
sort of
I
controller?
mean, I
I
understand
personally
anyone,
wouldn't you wouldn't want that, would you? As
but
an artist, you'd want to give the best you can possibly give.
I mean, I understand. I have said to a few people that I work with some of the biggest names in the world, you know.
Mm.
Um, but I don't really post that stuff on my social feed because I kind of keep it all separate.
Yeah,
Um,
you want to keep your private
so
life private.
most people don't actually know who Xbox Pope is, you know, like the
Mm.
real person behind them, you know.
That's
They
true.
just think he's this guy who does this crazy fan art, you know. And I'm okay with that, you know, because it's not about me
Mm.
as a person. It's about the character that plays Xbox Pope, you know, who's sees people having a bit of a shit day and you'll do them a
brightens
favor.
brightens a hell of a lot of people's lives up, without a doubt.
Or maybe that someone. And the reason why I deliberately did the PlayStation stuff, especially because I'm called XboxPope, is you get a lot of fanboys and kind of like console war stuff. And I thought, well, I'm going to break that. I'm going to break that because what was obscure was the fact that XboxPope is actually doing PlayStation work. And it kind of like played with a lot of people's minds a bit. Um, but to me, it's just art. Like, I can do it on anything I want. It's just a controller's just a canvas to me. Um, whether it's a PlayStation 1, a Nintendo, or an Xbox, it's just a canvas. Um,
And
but
also, am I right? You're based in the UK as well, aren't you? But obviously you
yeah,
do travel quite a bit, um, and I presume that generally, because this is just one person dealing with this, so you get all these components, get all these high-end materials. It's out of your pocket, and you don't get anything until, the receipts come in. But also, I suppose, I mean, for those who aren't outside the UK, materials in the UK in the last 2 to 3 years since Brexit and now with COVID, cost-wise, has trebled
oh, it's
in
been
terms of
ridiculous.
us. I mean, I work in the construction industry, and just for simple stuff like concrete, in the last month alone, prices would treble because we couldn't get something like concrete. When Brexit happened, the cost of concrete doubled. It is the price materials wise just went
And
through the roof. So to get this through this period, it is going to be, even just that alone, it's going to
and
it's ramp the prices up.
and I think as well that I think I had a comment the other day, and it was like, well, it's just a plastic controller. Yeah, well, I understand exactly what it is. You
I have a
know,
gut feeling it's a little bit more than that.
like
and
like I
so
just want to.
how can it be $250 because it's just a plastic controller? But it's like anything really. If you could buy a $3,000 car,
Mm.
but you can spend $6,000 trying to make it look cool, like pimping it up, putting vinyl wraps on it, sticking a better engine in it, sticking all the component, new wheels, so you're never going to get your return on it. But at least in your head, it looks cool,
Mm. Mm.
and it's the
Without
same
a doubt.
it's the same with controllers, even though mine are that price, you can actually pay double that to do the same job as what I'm doing,
Oh,
just for
without a doubt.
one controller, without a box, without a pin. All you get is a bit of bubble wrap on it, and it comes in a brown box, and it gets posted to your house, and it can easily cost you more. It's not an Elite, it's just a standard Xbox controller, but I can guarantee you'll pay a lot more than what I'm charging
What also is
for.
you're getting handcrafted, so the box personally designed. You've got
Exactly.
the materials are the best you can get. I'm assuming that the controller is it's not the Chinese knockoffs. Let's face it, it's probably not going to be Chinese knockoff ones. You've got the buttons themselves slightly crafted. You've got the pin handcrafted. There is so many more elements than just a spray paint job.
And
Um,
don't forget, on each component, I have to pay taxes on.
yeah, yeah.
Each
Christ, do we pay
component.
taxes in the
Holy
UK?
shit.
So if you think when you add it all up, you know, it it does it does come to a certain number that you think, wow.
Hmm.
And even I thought at the beginning of this, is this? I thought it was going to be super easy. I thought it's just I don't know, some guy sticks it in his machine and it just comes out the other end.
3D printed. There you go. It's done.
Yeah, it's done.
Honestly, this is such a because the curvatures of the controller, that not many people can do this, like to the high quality that like Xbox would, um,
Mm.
because it just nobody's got that type of equipment in that sort of in that backyard. It's a full on. industrial size
Well, you
machine
think
that
about
you
it.
kind of like.
Microsoft's got these huge industry, huge machines, huge factories that are specifically designed to create these controllers. You know,
Exactly.
and then you're trying to do something similar on a much smaller scale
In different countries.
in different countries. I mean, Jesus Christ, the actual, just going backwards and forwards,
Yeah.
shipping, finding the correct materials, making sure the materials themselves don't have any faults in with them, you know,
But
that
even some
itself
of
is a headache.
Yeah,
even
and
some
that
of the
they
controllers that you're flicking through now, there's two ways you can do stuff. So you can actually laser cuts things. You
Hmm.
can have things kind of pressed into the controller, or you you can have things embossed, so it's more relief. Um, Generally, when I'm creating the designs for the controllers, I'm always conscious of where a person's hand's going to be, where so it's not obscuring certain things. And if it's textures or they're too rough, so it's going to like be more painful to kind of like actually use as a control. Even though I know for a fact, if I was to make every controller I did, they would only sit on shelves. They would sit in display cabinets. They would never actually really be used. But obviously, I can't think like that. Um, but there's
I know
different
what you're
other.
saying. There is some people who out there who are just. I think I saw one of the guys there. He says, "I bought one and I'm never going to open it."
Uh,
And then it's me. Is like, I'd get one, I'd use it, but then the same thing. I'd use it for a short period, but I don't
yeah,
want to damage it. It's because it is
and I
such a
mean,
nice piece.
it's
So
almost like
it's
some people describe, like Banksy, that artist that kind of sprays on walls and then make
exactly.
them. They're
You
almost
d
like Banksy equivalents to controllers. There's not many people who actually design controllers the way I do them.
mm,
Mhm.
Um, and it's not me sort of being big-headed about it. It's just I can easily do what the other guys do. It's like, but that's not me being any different.
mm.
Um, they've got their little business, and I'm not going to stamp on their toes. It's the same with Xbox. I'm not going to stamp on Xbox's toes. At no point do I say my work's better than theirs. It's just I'm my own artist. I do my own thing, and you either like it or you don't like it. And it's as simple as that. It's the
Mm.
same with like buying the controllers. I haven't got a gun to anybody's head telling them that they must buy these controllers. If you like them and you want one, there's there's the link. Buy one. If you don't, then don't give a shit. Don't give a shit about it. Just say like, nah,
Exactly. I
like,
I think that is selfish. Mate, I think there's a slight jealousy in that regards, and also sometimes people can be, well, you should do what I think, and it's like, no, that's not how this kind of works. I mean, I myself, at the current stage, I can't afford the funds to get one. I No way am I going to say, oh yeah, drop it price because you should make it cheaper, because I know the value of it. I know what it's worth.
it's not my job
Dear
to raise
God,
it.
I
So
would love to have pay. If I had the funds, I'd be buying two or three of them
do you,
because the
do you
sorts.
know how many messages Xbox and Phil Spencer gets about? Oh, well, can we have an Xbox Pope controller? Can we have a? When
Yeah,
when I
sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is like now we get one and people are like
are not
not
are
happy
not
with the
happy.
price because
Exactly.
they don't know what goes into it. And I
So
want to say
if
myself,
if Xbox did make my designs, then
Mhm.
sure there would be $80. There would be.
I don't think they would be. I think, to be honest, I
No.
think they'd still be at 150. They might come down a little bit, but because of the actual, just to get the designs, I still think they'd be a bit more. Um,
But
but again, they can do that because they can buy thousands and do stuff in
Well,
major bulks.
not just that
This is
they've
going
got
to you,
everything.
isn't it?
Well, not just that they've got everything in house. You see,
Mm.
I haven't
Mhm.
got I haven't got a factory in my back garden. Like so.
are you making them just in your like let's say in your shed? Let's say
Yeah,
something like that. So you,
exactly. Well, what I'm doing, I'm saving up to buy a Ferrari. You see, Um, so I thought, oh, just for a laugh, I'll sell them at like huge extortionate price just
Uh-huh.
so I can buy it a bit quicker, you know?
As you said, there's 11. There's 11 controllers, and there's about, was it 200 of each? I
Yeah.
mean, that's if you think about the outlay and obviously the conversations you've had with the distributors, the people involved, the money you've had to put down already, that's not a small amount of money, and people still haven't realised this. An artist has had to go out, do the whole work himself, create the artwork, and then put the outlay there,
Do
because
you know like
no one's going to do it for free.
do you know
So
like
you,
in my industry like so what this took about 2 months to designs.
mm,
So I did several designs or I scrapped them. I did redesigns. Um,
Mhm.
if I was to calculate all the time that I've spent putting this together, and mind you, I'm about $200 an hour to
mm.
employ. Like that's thousands and thousands of dollars just in design work alone, you know.
Exactly.
Um,
That's not in the conversations. That is not even just the initial outlay they probably
so
asked for you as well.
it all adds up, and I think in in what I was trying to
And you're
justify
one
with this,
guy.
what I'm trying to justify with this podcast is the fact that like before you start sort of abusing custom controller work, just do your homework, you know. I
Mm,
understand Barry down the road can do them for 125 quid dollars. I understand Derek in Canada can do them for 175 dollars. But look at the processes that they're doing. It's it's a red or a green sprayed controller. It's it's still got the original buttons on. It's still got
well, how many times have we seen, the YouTube channels? Here I'd have they've just dunked it into some paint, and they said, "Here you go,"
yeah,
clipped it back on, and then
Hydro Kill.
charged you another 60, 70 quid.
I I have a question about the control itself. Like, how is the art on it made? Is it like wrapped around it, like, or is it like custom painted, or how does that
No,
work?
no. So it's specially formed. Um, it's a very similar process to how Xbox make theirs. Um,
Yeah.
so it's got that
That's not going to be cheap.
it's got the same durability, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
when I first did this adventure, and I did speak with Microsoft, I've spoke with Xbox, I've even spoke with the guy who made the fucking Elite controller himself, you know.
Wow.
Oh
Like
wow.
I had
Okay.
meetings with them all. Like it's no like I haven't just went out of this blind, you know. Like
No, no.
I've
How
had
No,
to
you
how
have to
long
do some
was
research.
this? Yeah. How long was it in the making? Like, how long did you over the whole process?
probably the end of last year.
Okay.
So this has been months of me speaking with
Mm-hmm.
hardware teams, um, speaking with other industry manufacturers. Um, and the reason why I did that is because yes, I can give you a cheap controller, but my problem is I can't tarnish the Xbox brand. I can't tarnish the XboxPope, and I certainly can't take the piss out of like the gaming community by just
Mm-mm.
saying, "There you go, mate. There's your," and then a week later I go, "Oh, Pope, the paint, all the paint's falling off, or the buttons have like dropped the bits, or
Well, you can imagine what that would happen if one
it's
controller
like
does that. Your reputation is, I wouldn't say
it's
tarnished, but it's
so
damaged.
you pay. Unfortunately, you have to pay for that extra security. Um,
Quality doesn't come cheap.
No.
so that's what it is. Is you're paying for the reassurance that what you're buying into, it's just the same as buying like an Xbox controller, but um, it hasn't got the same currency because there's only so many made, or I've had to custom make a packaging so it feels a little bit more special when you're opening it, you know. Um,
Um. Uh,
Well, the box looks absolutely lovely. Their box is, you can see it's been crafted really, really well.
Hold on,
To be
guys.
fair,
First a question. Is anyone except Fugly that's saying that Xbox Pope, his mic is a little bit low? Because he's saying that?
because struggling.
Yeah, just saying that. Okay, sorry.
All right, sorry, I might be talking a bit quiet because obviously there's the rest of my household has gone to bed.
I'm in the same boat, Xbox Pope. I think we're here in the UK. We've got like our families upstairs, and we're downstairs
Maybe
trying
I'll
to
look at my
politely be
other
quiet.
settings.
But no, so I think this has been a good opportunity for one just to clear things at my end, and
Mm.
it's not about making people's minds rest that they're gonna now dip their hands in their pocket and buy one. It's not about that. It's just listen. All I'm trying to say is I understand they're a little bit more pricey, but they're that for a reason. It's not. I didn't just stick my finger up in the air
I
and go, "Oh, let's
You're
let's
not
get."
trying to scam people. You're not trying to pull a fast one. You are simply
No,
here, as you're showing, as you said, and as I said, someone who's in this, not in the industry you're in, but in an industry that's similar to dealing with these materials. You can see the prices themselves and the world itself because you've done it also at a time when I mean, it's probably the worst time.
because you've got Sony coming out, you've got Xbox coming out.
You have got that. You've hit the and you had COVID. I mean, okay, you had no idea that was going to happen, but you've hit this at a time literally where everything's going wrong. And so to get these fantastic designs, and they do look absolutely bloody amazing. I have a clear favorite. I'm not going to mention it, but it is a clear favorite of mine. And you can see the quality in them. And
And I will, next time I will be able to put them on next gen controllers. People go, "Oh, well, I would buy one if it was on the next gen controller."
you
Well,
can
I
use
tell you what,
Nextdisc control on the next gen.
well, you can. But what I'm saying is, it's only missing one button. I mean,
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
but in some people's heads, they need that. And
I know what you're
uh,
saying. Yeah.
but I could carry these designs onto that feature,
Mhm.
but I won't be. Um,
There
and
is a question for you, and this process is obviously now taught you a hell of a lot, and you've now, as you said, you've now seen a lot. Do you think, in some way, Microsoft and Sony are sitting back, watching you do this, and almost learning from what you're doing as well, going, "Oh, okay, so that's what they look like.
yeah,
That's the price. Hmm." And
and
maybe they're using you as a guinea pig. I'm not, not personally, but just going, well, let's see what happens. Let's see
yeah,
if it goes get sold out. Which, let's face it, was it the first hour the website crashed numerous times? you know,
yeah.
uh,
Are they
And
sold out?
oh, I
no,
think it was just literally they just so many people tried to hit the website.
I mean they're not sold out, and I think a lot of people had that impression that they would be. I kept
Whew.
sort of saying, listen, they're not going to sell out. Don't worry. Um,
Yeah, I
and
want to buy one later, but like at the end
but
of the year after new consoles
Do you
come
know?
out, because
Do you
that's
know what?
also
That's what I'm
something
saving.
that's.
I'm saving up for one, and it's like, please, my fingers are crossed. It's like, for God's sake, do not sell out of the one I want,
and
please.
and do you know what it is? Is I knew it would cause difficulties because of the PS5 and the Xbox launch, and I've always said to people, please buy them first. Or someone was saying they had just had a newborn baby or something. I was like, whoa, like focus on your family. For God's sake.
Yeah.
Um, th- these this is a very rare opportunity to have a Pope thing, but
Mm,
I'm not saying it's the end of anything. I mean, I've learnt lessons. Maybe it's next time when I do the next one, you won't get the poor box. It'll be a more simplified version, or you probably won't get the pin. So I can reduce things at my end where it's more flexible for people to buy. But just this is just the beginning of my business. I wanted to go
yeah,
with a bit of a bang. Let's just
and to
see
be
where
fair,
it
you
ends.
have.
let's create some waves and 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 that's all it really was. It's not me showing off. It's just saying this is how special you as a community are to me.
Mm,
You've asked for Pope controllers. I'm not just going to give you a fucking Pope controller. I'm going to give you a cool box. I'm going to give you a little
Mhm.
pin. I'm going to like
exactly.
I'm like this is me saying thank you to everyone. Um, and that's what it's really about. It's not about being extortionate or trying to show off or trying to say I'm the best at controller designs because I don't like I couldn't give a shit. I just do this for pure fun. I've got bigger things in the world that are happening than
Yeah,
than
definitely.
than,
And
than
also,
saying
we've got to
coming out.
realise that you are one person. Come
Like
on.
with the fan art, I could easily say to people like, "Nah, you're not getting it." I don't even know who you are. You've only got like 2 followers or something. But I don't. I kind of gone, all right, okay, it might be a cool idea to do something for that.
And I think, to be honest, with you, that's what's brought so many people towards you is because, I mean, you did two of my requests, and I'm so thank. I mean, for Christ, the fact you did two of my requests was just amazing. I
Oh,
didn't
did
even
I?
think I was
Do
going to
you
be.
know what it is? I couldn't tell you which it was because I get
You
so many
did.
requests.
I know you did Dino Crisis and Panzer Dragoon Saga, and
Mhm.
I literally was just like, I just thought I'll ask. It was like he's too top tier. He probably won't even look at my request. And do you know what? That it was just such a fantastic feeling. And as I said, you've seen this from like children ask for design. You've done those amazing children
Yeah.
designs.
Oh, there was that
It
kid
is,
who's he was autistic,
yes,
and he's saying like his dad was saying he would he would be in his element if he did it. And I didn't just do it because the kid was autistic or thinking. I thought, well, actually, it's quite cool, like a little Hot Wheels one. Um, but I made it quite personal to obviously to the kid. So I did one the other week, and this woman asked us
yeah. I
um,
think I saw it on thing.
for
Yeah,
a
and it was,
for a mashup. I think it was that plague doctor, and she says daughter likes geisha girls or something.
yeah, and
And I
it
was
was
like,
amazing.
and I thought, all right, I'll do this geisha girls, and I'll do this doctor plague, um, and she sent it off to her daughter who was only 13 or something. I don't know. Um, she said she was like crying and everything.
But that, just face it, I think, and I'm going to probably, fanboy a little bit here. It's that is going to that will have effect on her life. That will inspire her. She will see something and just go,
Oh no, she's
"Wow."
well. What happened was our mother had shared some sketches that she had done.
Mm,
And I was like, "Fucking hell, that's good." Like, and I didn't realize she was only 13. I didn't really sort of go asking people's
Wow.
ages.
Mhm.
Um, and that's how it kind of came across. And I got a message saying, "Oh," she says, "God, I would never be that good, you know, like as good as me." And I was like, "No, please tell her like she has to work hard.
keep going,
She,
keep
she has to
going.
she has to make mistakes, make thousands of
Hmm.
mistakes. Mistakes are so important in life because that's how you learn.
Mhm.
Um, and I think if you can inspire people like that, I mean, some of the messages that I get is like, you've like, I was literally, gonna like just call it a day. I was gonna like end my life or something. You did this fan art and you really, you like shared it, like you've made us so special. And I was like, really? It's just a bit of fan art. But
I think
uh,
I thought they do. People see it. They do connect with your designs, whether you know that or feel that, or it's a little bit weird hearing that they do connect with your designs. And I think that's kind of what was so a little bit disappointing from the slight, I wouldn't say backlash, just slightly grievance of when the Xbox controllers came out. Because, like, come on, look what the
I
guy does. Look at do you honestly think, he's out to try and ruin anyone's day or try and, he's trying to be, extortionate, or he's trying to do any of this? He's
yeah.
one person. And how many times have you seen XboxPope, as you said, just right now, do something for other people, just on, and he's like, why would he? Why are you going down this path?
But
You know,
Do you know what it
hold
is?
on. Can I say something about that? Because it's
Mhm.
also like I didn't expect this was going to happen right now, right?
No, I
And
must
it's
admit, I didn't.
also the consoles are coming up. People are saving up for those. We have difficult times going on, so people are like probably like also like I want to buy one, but it's like I don't have the funds for it. So that's also probably why there's a little bit of backlash because they do want to support him and
Yes.
probably can't as well. Like just because of the like the price tag is a little bit high for most people because a 250 pound it's pound, right?
No,
Dollars.
that's dollars. It's
Dollars. Okay.
192 for pounds.
Sorry. So for $250, uh, most people do not buy for such a high price. Like they
But
don't even
do you know the likes of Colorware? You've heard of
Mm.
Colorware? Like their stuff is fucking
color
amazing.
bar.
You know, it's like
No,
yeah,
I haven't
Colorware.
heard
They're
of that.
quite
No.
well. They were the first ones to make my Sea of Thieves controller when I was with Xbox Addict,
Yeah.
and they were charging me, and this was a few years ago, $280 just to stick a logo on a black controller. Now that
Jesus
that's
Christ.
that's and and you
That's
know
insane.
so it's sometimes and even like scuff controllers, they're like for a custom one of
Yeah,
them,
they're
it's like 200
insane. They're insane.
$280. Fair enough, you get the triggers on the back, but it's not custom art on the face. It's
Mm.
just a sticker. It's a red vinyl sticker. It's a green vinyl sticker. It it's not got indentations. It's not got ripped metal. It's not got shapes and forms that are so unique and different. It's you have to kind of look around at if you want to pay these premium guys but get less back, then you'll understand
Mm.
shit.
I
What I'm getting
mhm.
here is value for money, you know. But I'm just explaining that as a process. What I'm not trying to say to people is forget buying an Xbox, forget buying a PlayStation, buy a Probe controller. It's not that. Like once these are gone, they're gone. But
Mhm.
what I'm saying is just take your time, you know, either save up and buy one or wait for until you might get some Christmas money. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what I'm doing.
I'm just afraid somewhat the one is gone that I want by the end of the year when I want to buy one in
Well,
December.
It's
in the same thing, I think the fact that Xbox Pope has kind of hinted that this is not a one-off. I think also that helps and put people at ease because I think maybe that was another thing they were looking at as a one-off set collection,
Oh, okay,
never to be repeated again.
so it's
And
not.
maybe it was like, how can I afford this money right now to get this one-off in a lifetime? And I think the fact that Xbox Pope has now confirmed to a degree. It's maybe not a one-off. I don't want to put words in your mouth here, Xbox Pope.
So first of
what I would
all,
say is that maybe the range could be one off the ones that you're seeing now,
Yep.
mhm.
but I can easily design more.
Mm.
Uh,
Oh,
you
I
know,
would
it's not
love to see my control.
it's not the see the thing is when it comes to like say your controller,
Yeah.
like if you knew you had an audience, like let's say you were the next ninja, you know, and you had a million audience or whatever
Mm.
the
Mhm.
guy's got,
Mhm.
it's so much easier because then I can invest in the bigger runs. What you got to remember is I can't go lower than 200
Yeah.
because it's not worth the time. Um, the higher the numbers I go, the better because obviously production costs are cheaper. You see, so
So you needed a variety of wide designs that would appeal to a larger
ex-
audience to ensure that they are picked up as well. And I
yes,
think to be honest with you, the designs, I think you've hit. You have hit so many on the net. I said I've got one in particular, and I think I'm going to mention it as Codex. For me, that
Coda,
controller,
The thing is,
I love that controller.
did you see
Sorry.
the guys from Cyberpunk giving us some credit for it?
Do you know what? I'm surprised they haven't bought half of them out, because as I looked, I was like, oh,
Did you see I put a binary code in there, you know, and people were trying to work it out?
some people have, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'm not going. It's probably for them to try. I'm not going to say anything. I haven't worked it out yet, but I'm sure there is a response. And
It's quite funny, really, you know. And it's you know, XboxPope is all about them little tiny things, you know. Those little
but
little
just the fact, the way
details.
the design itself, it looks amazing, and the way you can see, as you said, it's a 3D layered effect on there as well. Just looks. I can't think of other controllers that have that much detail
No.
and that
No,
much.
you can't produce. You can't. Nobody can produce that. What I've done.
Exactly.
Like I know for a fact Microsoft are looking at that thinking, how the fuck has he done that? Because there is no laser etching involved.
And
There's
it looks amazing. And this is it. That's why I kind of said to you, I kind of wonder if Microsoft and Sony are looking at you,
like literally
seeing what you're doing, going, okay.
like if I told you this, right, like literally I broke rules to produce these, right? So
Mm-hmm.
these controllers that you're seeing, I've literally invented new new ways of doing it. Even some of the controller people who do this for a living
I hope you've
could
painted it yourself.
right, but really, honestly, they couldn't understand how I did it.
Mm.
Even, and people have been in this business for making controllers for 10 years. I've been doing this for a few months or a few weeks, let's say,
Yeah.
Well,
and I've already found like hidden techniques to do stuff, you know. So
which then kind of, in my
You're.
mind, makes this the next set, or what the potential of what else you can do, mind-boggling. Because as you said, that itself, oh, I'm drooling. Sorry, but it is just a fantastic design, and you can,
but
it
but it
kind of
can't.
makes you want to see more.
Yeah. The thing is, now that I've told you that it's easier to understand, but
Mm,
because I haven't told anybody, when they look at them, they just go, "Oh yeah, it's just a controller." It's not just a controller.
no.
Like
Nope.
there's techniques in there that are even mind-boggling. The people who make this for a living, you know.
Well, as I
And
said, I think that those who make it for a living will be going, "How the hell has he done that?" Your average consumer
yeah,
will just go, "Oh, it's a print," and it's like, no, it's not. It's much more than that, and I think that's why it's nice to hear you say it, because we don't know. We just don't know how you do these things.
yeah.
It boggles our minds, you know. So it's nice
Well,
to hear.
even when I do the fan art, people are desperate for us to do streaming. Can you not do a live show to show you how you do it? You know.
That's 30 years of experience just gonna just shove straight onto onto a
And
stream.
and like I said, everyone, there is no secret. There's no secret wand that are cast on.
That one button
I
press.
I I want to have a question because I don't know if it's on the, like, I'm looking at the website and I'm looking at the controls itself, but is there a control where you actually have um like in your hands and stuff and can show it in every way possible?
There's a small video, isn't there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
there's a
small
little
video, but
video.
I still feel it's not enough.
Well, there's some people who've bought them and they're going to do little unboxing videos. So I should
Ah.
imagine
That,
they
Yeah,
when
might
you
did they
should
show.
come
mention
through?
those. I want to maybe get them on next stream.
Yeah.
The delivery of that is, when are they? About 19th? Is it 20th of November? The delivery, or
Well,
is it, what is it?
it's we're heading for like a 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, once you've made an order,
Yep.
because obviously it's unfortunately I haven't got a factory in one country that can do skin like the controller and make the box and make the pin,
Mm-hmm.
put it in a brown box and ship it to your house. You know,
No.
like
Nah, I
I'm having to deal with several countries here.
I mean, that's a task and a half in itself, isn't it?
Then
For one person.
it all comes together to one country location, then it's distributed to the person. Now I am having to try and find ways because I know people in the UK are struggling with import taxes. Um,
Oh, they're phenomenal at the moment, aren't they? I
so
mean,
the plan is to get the controllers, like a bulk of them
mhm.
that people have ordered, shipped to the UK is one like import tax that obviously I'll incur. Then
Cool.
then
That's
I'll
not cheap.
post the stuff out randomly to the people. Um,
And just for those who are in our American audiences or who are maybe the European audiences, for instance, the import tax in the UK is, well, let's put it this way. I ordered a comic from America and it was almost the same price. Okay, so the comic out of America was about $20, $30. It was almost the same again in income tax. Sorry, tax coming through.
yeah, yeah. Well,
And
the thing
so
is,
that's
you get taxed twice. You get taxed twice from America.
mm,
So you have to pay the American tax, then you have to pay the European tax.
Hmm.
Uh,
exactly. And
so
you're thinking of incurring that cost as well. That's
yeah,
What's
that is.
incurring? Sorry.
Well, incurring would be taking on the cost
For
himself.
yourself. Wow.
Yes, that's
Wow.
just what I'm just saying. This is where some people don't really realise. For an individual to do this, it is extortionately expensive. So to just even see this one, see Pope do it is damn. He's got some balls to go ahead and do it because this is for
and
multi-billion kind of companies. It's something they can just get. The cost isn't going to be that much. I think they can almost recall the cost somewhere along the line. For your individual artist, that is a lot of money you
So,
have to take out of your own pocket.
so are you breaking even then, actually? Or
do you know this project was never about making money. It was about and solving the problem of getting Pope controllers in people's hands. So
Mm,
it's always
oh.
been that's always been the mission. If I made any money, it was always about giving back to the community. So if I see someone saying, like I can't afford an Xbox, I'm kind of a bit poor, then I would go out and I would buy them an Xbox and I would ship it to their house. Um, or if someone's in the community had problems, then I would be more flexible to help them. You see,
Mhm.
um, people don't
this is
know
what
that
this is what annoyed me when you got that slight backlash. It's like
people don't
this is
know
the
that
person you're attacking.
people don't
Come on.
realize what the Xbox Pope's business plan is. You see, it's not about me going, buying the latest and greatest car or yacht or whatever. Xbox Pope works for the community. That's what he does. That's why he never asks for anything when he does the fan art. If you say, "Can I have a fan art?" I go, "Sure. What do you want?" X, Y, and Z. I never get anything in return. Nobody gives us money. Nobody says, "Oh, he has $50. Thanks very much."
Mm.
Like I get zero from anybody.
Yeah, and
What?
that's something
But
that
what?
most artists don't do. Like they
Yeah.
are against
No,
that because they feel like their art is worth something.
But
Um,
what I do get is what money can't buy is I get happiness.
yeah.
I get I get a smile. I get a message saying, "Do you know what it is? Like I was having the shittest day of my life, and you've made it so special." Or you get this enjoyment of them retweeting it to their community, saying, look at what this awesome guy did for us today. It's like you can't like what you got to
that
remember.
smile goes across the whole social media, and I must admit, I'm sure Flemish will agree. Every time you do post something, it does bring a smile, regardless of what it is. We
Yeah,
smile.
Yeah,
It is,
yeah.
yeah,
and let's face it, in the world of social media, where there is so much doom and gloom at the moment, where there's so much, divisiveness, this to bring a smile in this sort of age is, we want to keep that going.
I mean,
Don't
it's
discredit
it's
it.
it's like the Flamish fan art that I did there. I mean, he did put a request in. I don't know, was it a couple of weeks ago or a week ago or
I
something?
think it was just after I asked you to be on my show. because I
Yeah.
was like, hey, let's just put my logo up there. Ask him like if he ever wants to do fan art for me, so I can like put it maybe on the show or something later on. Like, uh, um, and I was like, yeah, let's see what happens. I was
Yeah,
like,
but the whole thing, the process is I did it, and I could have easily pre-warned you about it. I could have went, oh yeah, look, this is your fan art, I'll post it up here. The
yeah.
idea of what Pope does is he'll just randomly pick times or days to post something, and it's always about that. Oh my God, fucking hell, look at this, like it's that shock, it's that.
It is, and this is it. It's
Um,
always such a nice, in a way, I kind of feel like I'm stalking sometimes your timeline,
yeah.
just to see when something else comes out, because it is a nice wave
But do you
of
know the
happiness.
but do you know the annoying thing is in my head is in my head I see it as a hindrance because I think, oh, I better not post the day because I bet you people are like pissed off with seeing like Pope fan art every day or every week, Like in
I
my
think
head,
that's the artist in you criticizing yourself, and I think, as you said with your 30 minutes, you get to you as an artist, you are your worst critic, aren't you?
hmm
You are just it is regardless of what anyone can say something about your art, and you'll be like, yeah, okay, you are your worst critic. And I think, as you said, you've set yourself 30 minutes to stop, in a way, kind of circumvent yourself being a critic. But yes, that might work with your art. That doesn't work with you in general, though, and how you about you go
yeah,
things.
because I'm so precious to the community. Um, like I don't like to be a pain in the arse or a hindrance or someone who keeps spamming people with you know crazy art. Um,
Mhm.
so I do try to break it up best I can, but when you're getting hundreds of requests a week, it's kind
Well,
of
you
difficult.
posted it. Just was it? It was like almost like an A4 piece of paper with what you had on there. I think I mentioned it as like I won't mention it to the community. Is like I think he had about 24 items, and it's like this would take him a full, was it something like 28 hours if he did it consistently just to do all of these requests at 30 minutes. It's like,
So I
and
normally
that's just a
average
small one.
I normally average four. I can do 40 a week. I can do
Jesus
Wow.
I can do
Christ.
40
And you get
designs
that 40 a week,
and my day
no,
job.
nothing, and his day job, doesn't ask for anything, always brings a smile.
It's it's. I mean, I understand people look up to the Xbox Pope, and honestly, it's so special.
Yeah, we do.
But but at no point am I ever like how I'm speaking now is exactly how Xbox Pope is.
Mm.
Mhm.
He's not big-headed. He doesn't care really about his numbers. I mean, people say he should be on like 60,000 followers, or you should be on this, or you like
Mhm.
it. I'm not precious to it. Um, I just enjoy making people smile, and sometimes because I'm from a certain part of England where we are quite cheeky and
You are.
caring. It's also nice just to drop a few little cheeky posts sometimes, just to just to really sort of cheer people up. Um, but because I had a lot of this hate and stuff with this, I
Did
have
that kind of hit you hard a little bit? Because I kind of feel
yeah,
slightly it was a knock you weren't expecting.
it did, and I kind of have gone a little bit silent on social, not silent as in I'm not saying anything, but I'm just not using words at the minute. Um,
Yeah. You have to let
uh,
it die down a bit,
I'm just sort
probably
of
as well.
And I think, in a way, and I'm going to be probably I'm going to be the guy who sits. I think COVID is a little bit helping that. We are slightly, all of us are slightly wound up more than we would be. And I think
exactly.
and so I'm not saying what they're saying is right, but you can understand. Sometimes they're just sometimes people on social media are frustrated and want to vent to someone, and on social media, it's so much easier to do so. So you may be that, as a friend of mine said, he said the person that sometimes vents at you, you don't know what they're going through. Maybe they've had a really shit day and you're just the brunt of it. And they could be the nicest person in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you don't always know what's going on. And so in some cases, we take things too personally. And I think the situation the world's in at the moment, we are all very tense. We're all slightly wound up.
Yeah.
And I suspect in reality, a lot of people who are giving you the hate don't actually mean it. I'd like to think they don't mean it, to be honest with you. I think they were just maybe there was a vent, as you said, with the price, with everything, and the hype of the new systems as well, and funds as it is, because let's face it, funds generally, I don't think everyone's that thing are brilliant. You kind of got the brunt of it, which is not nice, not right. At the
I
same
mean,
time,
I'm not
It's
getting the latest Xbox because I've got zero money, you know. But I'm not like
not after you've done all these controllers.
like I'm not I'm
probably.
not sitting there like I'm not sitting posting on Twitter like, you know, I'm not gonna buy one because they're too expensive or
Hmm.
like I've got no money or something. I just kind of like I think some people need to sometimes before they post something like really understand
Mm,
how many other people it may affect by saying them words,
yeah,
you know. Um, in Twitter's about telling people how you feel at the moment, you know. So
which is sometimes the worst thing in the world.
and but I just think,
Yeah.
and it's not about everyone being nicey to each other, you know, because that's just not how the world is. But I just think some people need to really think before they speak, if you know what I mean. Um, it's like when I get criticism about like which colours. I mean, they could have said, "Well, why did you use red and silver and Flemish?" Like I would have chose black and green, you know. And I'm thinking, well,
That's
like,
dumb.
Well, then why don't you do
Sorry.
smart work and show us it? You know,
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
and I use that as a thing, but then it's like, oh, you're just being negative. And it's like,
So,
well,
so I was like, I want to try to do my own console, but I was like, I tried to do my best, but I can't like change it out, like because it's just a 2D picture, right? You're doing everything in 3D, so I was like, hey,
yeah,
why not just exchange the Xbox logo with the Xbox Pope, like the neon one you gave me, that
yeah.
put me on as a sticker, and then Jay as a CD.
The thing
So,
is, you know, with graphics, it's all about placement. And what you've
mhm,
also got to think of is, as a designer, you're not just putting things there because it looks pretty, you know. Uh, you're putting things there for a reason, you know. It's about weight, it's about balance, it's about uh, posture, it's about
yes,
light and shade. It's all the aesthetics of so aesthetics. They have they have about 30 rules underneath it, you know. It's light,
mhm,
shade, it's texture, it's shadows, there's so many principles underneath, and you have to follow those principles. Then there's also what I deal in is psychology. So you put things there to trick the mind, to force people to look somewhere where they didn't really want their eyes to
mm,
go, but they can't help it because you've done something that's forcing their eye to look at something in a certain way, you know. Um, People don't realize artists and designers, they do a lot of freebie stuff, you know, because that's
mm.
just the nature of an artist and a designer. But when we do charge people money, we charge for a reason, you know, because like nobody can naturally be an artist, nobody can naturally be a designer. You have to train. You have to. It's almost like a training to fly a plane. You know, you kind of just jump in the thing and fly. You know, you've got to have years of.
You have to have years of mistakes. You have to have years of achievements. You have to go
Uh,
through different processes that work for yourself. You know, any designer will never, and one thing I don't know about you, but as a designer, like I said, I design sort of buildings. For me, designing is never done. It's consistently nearly. It's always
Yes.
something new. Always something that's slightly different. Always
Yeah,
something that could be evolved, or as you said, boundaries pushed, and your brain is consistently flowing with new thoughts, new potentials, new ideas, new mistakes, learning from
right.
those mistakes, you know. And as you said, you in these controllers, you've done things that other people didn't think could possibly be done. That should tell you something straight away.
Yeah, and although some of them kind of might repeat themselves a little bit, like I said, I can't simplify my work. I can't make it.
Well,
But
this is it, and Xbox was a perfect example. If they don't even want to simplify your work, there's a hint there. And I don't think actually, I don't think a simplified version would be. I don't know. As an artist yourself, I assume you wouldn't want to simplify your work. You'd want it as the product you want to see. You can understand why you'd maybe want it simplified, but you probably wouldn't
I,
want to simplify it.
I guess when you become an artist or a designer,
Mm,
you 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 have to find your own ways.
hmm
Yes.
So you have your own characteristics, your own style. So if I start changing my style, then I'm no longer the Xbox Pope, let's say, you know. So
mm,
Mm-hmm.
um, although I can't like so in my industry, what I say is I've got several gears, you know. So
hmm
if I see someone stamping on my toes, I can change into a different gear. Um, I can move in a different direction, and I can think different, you know. Um, so what I try to do with the Pope fan art is, is is just keep that sort of theme,
hmm
and it's almost creating that three-dimensional feel, but it's not real, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
mm,
Like
mm.
I'm not cutting the controller. I'm not adding to it. I'm just simply creating special effects
Well,
that
for
make it
example,
look.
codecs, that the bit where it's peeling away, you would from the outset you'd see it's almost 3D. You think, actually, is that is it 3D? And it's not. It's just the way you've designed it.
Yeah,
It's just
there's
it's
actually
shadows.
a couple of
Is
ones because when I look back, right, and there was an Easter one. Hold on, let me check it real quick. Like, where was it? It's somewhere. But there's a couple of ones. It looks so real in 3D that it looks like it's like
it looks
several
like there is some
layers.
weight to it. Yeah, there's weight to it. It's like
Yeah,
there is some.
I don't know where it is. It's somewhere there.
That's what I said. I like one of the reasons I like the Codex one because it's just there's this 3D effect. And it's like wow, you know, and that's good. It's going to be 2D with your hands on it, but it looks 3D, and that's as you said the psychology of your designs, isn't it?
And you've got to remember, as most people view the controllers from a distance, that very rarely can you see them anyway when they're in your hands because they're covered.
Mm.
So all the effects that
Where
I'm
was
using
it?
are are
It,
done for.
This one.
Yeah. So that yeah. So it looks like it's been cracked or opened,
Yes.
but it's just a play on shadows. You see, I've just
hmm
created shadows within the design that make it look three-dimensional. You know. Um,
Yeah, like this one as well. It does look
exactly.
like it's in the console. Like it looks
But
like there's
but
two
that
layers.
effect that effect can actually be done with laser cutting.
mm,
Uh-huh.
But what I'm saying is it can also work if the way you've got to look at it is if it works in a picture, it'll work in real life, you
yeah.
know.
Yes.
Because
Do you find that with that the people who are going to buy your consoles, do you think they're going to be those who just stick it on a shelf and go, "This is it. I'm not going to touch it. This is my
yeah,
pristine Pope controller. It's never going to be played with. It's just going to be looked at, you know."
I mean, well, you know, like Aaron Greenberg, he's got several of my designs, some that he hasn't shown, and he has them in his own, he's got his own glass cabinet at
Oh wow.
Microsoft, and he just has them on display
Oh wow.
in the glass cabinet, you know. But he's personally paid for them, um, and it's again, it's a nice feeling. Do I stick it on my CV? No. Like, do I maybe tweet it out once, but
Yeah.
I don't like pin it to my profile. I don't say, look at me, look how amazing. Like it's not about a bragging rights. It's just saying, look at, I just do things in a different way to other people. Um, I
I
treat
don't
people.
think from
I
the
treat.
sounds that you don't like to be this. I think some
No,
people like myself don't like to just forever just be showcasing themselves off. They just like to be themselves, and if you like us, that's better. But promotional or anything like that, it seems to be a. I'd rather not. I
Uh,
just like
because
to.
because the simple reason is like I said before, I can change into different people.
Mm,
Uh, Not like as in people, but in change my mindset.
mm-hmm,
mm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
so if I sense somebody's having a bit of a shit day, I can change to cheer them up. If I
mm,
sense someone's um, being a bit negative or a bit unpleasant, I can change to maybe say, well, look, I understand your opinions, but I think you need to look at things in a different way, you know.
mm-hmm.
Um, it's just general day. It's just common sense stuff, really. But it it's not something that I have sleepless nights over. When it's time to go to bed, like I'm a different
Well, that's
person
good
the
to
next
hear.
day.
It's good to hear that your mental health isn't affected by any outside force, because that's another thing that can easily be done, isn't it? Your mental health
Yeah,
can easily be.
and I'm not saying negative feedback doesn't affect us because it does greatly because
Yeah.
I'm 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 meant to be this person that is always happy, always keeping people happy,
How how can you do that though? That itself is almost impossible, isn't it?
But
Hey, Movable, look
so,
at me.
but but then sometimes I need that little bit of arm around, um, and it's sometimes nice. I get private messages from people saying, "How you doing, Pope? Are you okay? Is
Even
everything all
even the shield needs someone to hold them.
Yeah, like it's just I do have people around us that do care,
Mm,
uh, and they'll kind of like watch my back a little bit, Even Microsoft watch my back. Um, I've got people from Xbox who employees who they know exactly what I'm doing.
mm.
I'm being watched from every angle.
But I
Um,
think you're also a big help for the community because you bring so much smiles and so much happiness to the community for doing all those designs.
yeah, and
And
that's
so
what
I
that's what they know. That's the reason why they protect me as a person because they
mhm.
know how much I'm valued.
We wouldn't want to lose it. Why would you want to
Uh,
lose that? You don't want that person. Nothing personal. We don't want to lose you. We wouldn't want you to get to the point where you
No.
think, well, that's it. I've had enough. Why do I have to deal with this? I'm off.
I've had times like that, man. Don't get us wrong.
And
but
that's that worry. In a way, that kind of worries me the most is that it's at those down moments, as you said, it's good to hear that you have people who are close to you that will just go, look, have a hug, forget those idiots.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
I
you
I,
know.
I do have another I do have another question maybe like do you game yourself?
yeah. When I get time,
Yeah, when you got time,
once
of
once a
course.
year.
well, do you know what it is? Like recently, because obviously I do have, and I think it's fantastic. Is a Game Pass Ultimate,
Yes.
because obviously
Without a doubt.
I game on PC and Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
and I've been playing that Frostpunk.
Oh
Um,
yes, yes, yep.
Freaking hell, it's hard game that like, but
Frostpunk.
um, oh,
I'm
it's
go
really good. It's like a strategy sort of
Yeah,
build a
I'm gonna
city
look
type
it up
thing.
and put it on the screen because I'm
Yeah,
Oh,
actually
it's an isometric. Well, actually,
that's
it's a hell of a lot hard because it also it challenges you in terms of decisions. So, like, do you, in terms, I think if I remember correctly, it's like, do you put children to work and they may die early, or do you actually don't put them to school, educate them, and they may help out later on? It's a very much mental challenge as well as
oh,
just building, isn't it? It's not as
yeah.
simple.
It's
that's
it's it,
interesting.
honestly, it's such a challenging
It got
game, but
very high praise, but as you said, it's quite challenging, isn't it?
Is
so
it
you've got to
also in
make
Game Pass?
decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
it's really I mean, unfortunately, I did have to kind of YouTube some help, like, because at the start I was like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing here? Like, I literally no clue what I'm
Okay,
supposed to
put
be
your
doing.
hands up if you haven't done that at some point.
But once I understood, and I think that's the beauty of YouTubers, who do this for a job,
Mm.
Mhm.
is because I'm super dyslexic, so I'm not very good at reading and writing. But if somebody shows us something, I'm really good at picking something up very fast. So I'll go, right, okay, and then away you go. And I think again, it's important to have these type of people in the community who can. So I inspire people with my art, but there's podcasters that inspire people to be better people because they're teaching them how to communicate and be nice to each other, or maybe get a bit of shit off their chest. And then you've got like YouTubers who are willing to put the time in from maybe it's their busy day to educate people in other ways. So we all have a job to do in the community.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's when if people take a step back and realize what what is what is a community, not just an Xbox bot, but a gaming one. And
Mm.
I've seen people in so much trouble, but I've seen so many people like start up a petition to help them, and
This is
go
the irony.
through
This is where the
and
beauty of it, and I think
you think,
sometimes gaming as it
holy
is.
shit, like how did
Oh,
that happen? Like
mm.
that's like I've had friends that wouldn't even like give up that much time and effort to help you.
Mm.
Yet people who you don't particularly know
Halfway around the world.
are freaking putting their hands in their pocket to kind of like support you. You think,
Well,
wow.
there was a recent one. I think it was one of the riots in America, and this gaming store had literally, through no fault of their own, had just literally it got completely destroyed. The gaming community cobbled together up money so it could repair and rebuild and actually go back to where it was. They just people just went, "We'll help you out," and that's
There's
Yeah.
actually
the
a
gaming
lot
community.
of there's a
People
lot
do
of
that rig a lot.
yeah. Sorry.
And that's the bit as the Xbox Pope I see and I take it and I kind of go, how special is this? Like in and I do
Mm.
see people getting involved in the console war banter of this, that, and the other, but it's
Oh my
quite
god.
entertaining. Some of it. Um, it's almost that I've got a better football team than you
It
do, you
is,
know.
it is though, isn't it? I mean, to be honest, I
And
think I don't know how old you are, Pope, but if you're as old as me,
I'm
it's
nearly
like,
50.
oh, okay, you're always almost as old as me. You are a little bit older than me. Then. I'm not gonna say, but I mean, the platform wars have been happening since there's been different platforms, and I suppose as you get old, you think it's kind of a bit boring now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
I don't get
it's a
involved
young
in
man's
it.
game.
I don't get involved in it, but it's quite entertaining to see sometimes. But I think some people do take it a little bit too far at times, and you think,
But that's the passion coming through. I think
yeah,
that's because they have. It's like as you said, football. Football teams. The passion comes through a little bit too much sometimes, and things spill out where they shouldn't do. But generally, the gaming community itself, I would say, I mean, I've been gaming now for about coming up for over 30 years, probably a little bit more than that. Generally, the gaming community has always been pretty positive. I know there is the toxic aspect out there,
yeah,
but overall, in the much larger scale, is generally gamers, regardless of platform, regardless of what games or genres you play, are just generally seem to be good people who want to help other gamers out there. You know, and at
exactly.
least from my experience, that's my old fart experience from back north. From now, people just want to game and enjoy themselves, and it doesn't matter who you are.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it was like I was more. because at the time when it first came out, I was like more Spectrum than Commodore. But then I switched over to Commodore, and then I went from there into PC.
Yep.
But then the beauty of consoles themselves, and I know people say, "Oh, PC's better because you can do all this." But I work on a PC all day long. The last thing I want to
Same.
see is a
Yeah.
fucking PC on a night. So consoles are great because you can just take a break away from, um, the whole
Everything.
PC aspect.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
think you're a bit like me, Pope. I'm also on the PC 24/7, and I think you're right. You just get to the place like I don't really want to sit in front of another PC. You do it if you do it for 10, 15 hours. The last thing you want to do is probably put your hand on another mouse and
like
keyboard.
this is going to sound stupid, right? But a couple of weeks ago, my wife doesn't game. She's not a gamer at all, right? And I seen on Game Pass, and she quite likes Disney, so I downloaded the Disney Adventure, right?
Oh yeah.
Honestly, she's never had so much fucking fun in her life. Because me and her, as a team, we're trying to find all these Mickey Mouse faces
Mm.
and fucking doing all this shit. And it's a kid's game, but it brought us together so close. It was like, how can you know, a game which is probably for
You
kids.
know now that's going to be a thing. You do
Uh,
realise that you've opened the door,
well, I'm not. I'm
and
like I said, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed, but it's bizarre, isn't it? Because we kind of play these as community nights and stuff. We'll play Titanfall or
mm,
COD or
Yeah.
all these sort of multi sort of media type games. But isn't it funny how some games can actually bring families together?
Yeah.
Um,
I want to say XboxPope for me is the same. Like my girlfriend, she games on her phone. She has like this searching game that she played for 3 years already. It's like a Facebook game. You know those?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So it's like uh, it's not really a game, I would say. It's just like search the objects like all the time, right? And then I was like, hey, do you enjoy stories? And I'm like putting this game up like tell me why they came out, or the Batman games that also the story based
oh,
games.
yeah, yeah.
Telltales,
Yeah,
yeah.
like the Telltale games. So that's like a start. And she really enjoys those because I let her make all the decisions and let's see what happens. And she sometimes does the weirdest things that I don't expect, like, yeah, fuck this guy. So okay, and then now she's starting to find like this really old game she played like back in the day, SSX, and she's
Yep.
really getting into it. So it's something that I never expected, but she's getting into gaming, like the hobby that I always wanted someone to love with me, that yeah is next to my
Yeah,
side all the time. So it really brings people together sometimes in the weirdest way.
exactly. And you can't really do that on PC, to be fair. I
No.
think a console is great for couch, sitting on the couch together and doing things, and that's the beauty of consoles. I hope they never die in a sense. Um, I'm
Yeah, I
not
mean, I
really,
mean
I'm
the
not
old.
precious. I'm not precious to a brand, Like obviously,
Mm,
Hmm.
I always go down the Xbox route. Um, Not just because I'm the Xbox Pope. It's just
Game Pass.
I've got that. I've always had that Xbox community,
mm.
um,
Okay.
and the introducing the Game Pass has been fantastic because there's games on there. I would think there's no way I would have put fucking $30-40 down for a game like that. Like, but
Hmm.
you give it a try and you go, actually, it's fucking really good. This game, like I'm a huge indie supporter because I find indies fascinating in the sense that they were made by a guy in his bedroom or a small team of people just trying to put a name on the map, and they've made this awesome game, So
Well, a bit as a way.
indies,
It's a bit like you in a way. As I said, I've spoken to a few indie games, and you just think they're doing exactly like yourself. They're creating these amazing things on the back of full-time jobs
Yes.
with little or no money, and you speak to them and you can just see, just like speaking to you, you can see the passion coming through, and it
Yeah,
is the indie games. Yeah, a bit like I'm just saying myself. It was 5, 6 years ago, I was AAA, and in the last probably 3 years, I've spent more time with indie games now, and it's just, as you rightly said, it's amazing to see what's coming out by 4 people, as you said
The,
it's and
even
for me, it's fantastic when you see me dropping some fan art for them, you know. Um,
they
and
really appreciate it. You can see it. You know,
yeah,
it's like
they always message us back and they go, "Oh my God, I can't believe like you've done that for us," you know. And sometimes I get replies back saying, "Well, how can we make it?" You know, like again, like I mean, it's not really a huge secret, but I'm working with two of the biggest game developers in the world at the minute on a little project, you know. But um, it, I've just had more fun working with the likes of. Do you remember? Oh shit! Deliver Us to the Moon.
hmm
Well,
a
they're just
wired.
yeah. Well, the guys who did Deliver Us to the Moon were only just like two brothers or something
hmm
who created that game. And honestly, they were the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Honestly, just beautiful to work with, so down to earth. They were up for anything, you know. Um, it, there was no, but yeah, when I work with bigger teams, it's always like, oh well, I've just got to check with my boss, I've got to check with my manager, I've got to check with the fucking
It,
legal team, I've got to
it
check
has
with
to
them,
go through 13 different chiefs before it actually anything can get done.
and then you get the email back. Well, we can't do this. Can you change this? Can you change? You're on like version 14, you know, and it's like fucking
God,
hell, man. Like I
yeah.
could have had this done uh, like weeks ago, you know, but
that's like work.
yeah, and
Also, guys, in the background now is the Falconeer. That's basically from one guy.
Yeah, there
So
is.
that's also a really nice indie game that's coming into Game Pass at the end
that's
of the
from
He's
the
year.
also
Wired. That's from the
yes from
Wired.
this Wired team as well. He's really nice. I've spoken to him on Twitter, and honestly, he's really down to earth. Again, another down to earth guy. And you said one guy who's done this, and it's like
Mhm.
Jesus.
He even did an MMA on Reddit, by the way, and I asked him a question. I cannot recall what question exactly, but he basically was like talking how he did this stuff, and it's basically like a computer program that he writes and it makes like all the textures and stuff, like procedural. Uh, I'm not
It
entirely sure
it is
if
it
if
is
it's
it
like that.
is
Yeah.
truly amazing how, as you said, one person can do this.
Hmm.
And if anything, these sort of developers inspire others.
Yeah,
You know, just like how I suspect, and he's not going to like me to say this, I suspect, but just like Xbox probably inspires artists. They see this and go, "Wow, I'm going to try that."
oh yeah, it's great when people send us stuff and say, look what I made, you know,
Yeah.
and then I kind of go, well, just be careful of like how you're doing your shadows, you know, or just be careful how you, you're 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 distorting an image, you know, because you can see not many people have got the ability where they can do 3D software like me, you know, like all the models I have to build um,
So, do
from
you actually you build these from scratch, or do you like
yeah.
do a basic template? I mean,
No,
uh,
I build them to
so is
how
these
the
built on families then? There's like small blocks you build up, or is this like a layering system?
uh, it, well, if I don't know if you know much about 3D software, I don't know.
Oh, the
It,
only 3D software I use is a software called Revit, which is it's probably a very basic
well,
3D
well,
software.
I use
Wow.
I use a similar Autodesk product called 3D Studio Max.
Oh yes, 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 yep.
So it's model building, you know. You
Mm,
because I do the interior designs, I'm building. It's a bit like your Revit, but I'm building them in 3D Studio Max. I build huge interior structures, you know,
yep.
with seats and all sorts of stuff in there. Um, but because I'm not an architect or a design engineer, I don't need to go to that level of
Trust me, you don't want to.
like, and because mine's more of a creative inspired look and feel. But I can export to Unreal, so I can create a VR
Oh
experience.
wow! So okay, yeah.
Um,
Well, actually, you can actually you should be able to import 3D Studio Max into
yeah,
overlay into a Revit model itself, and then do a
yeah, you
3D
can.
walkthrough.
Yeah, I can send you my stuff, and it will import straight into Revit.
Oh, fantastic! No, so it's one of the things. It's as again as a designer for buildings, Revit is my main 3D. As I build in 3D,
Yeah,
and it's it is amazing as it is equally frustrating. And for me, the clients I deal with, I can't really talk about them. A bit like yourself, it's just cost,
yeah.
and I'm forever having to pull myself back as a designer.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how you deal with some of the people.
And it's and then once I've created the 3D model, then I create all the textures in Photoshop, and then I trans you know I send them to 3D.
Mm,
I wrap the texture onto the model, um, and because I get like a live view, um,
yep.
I can I can see if it's going to look okay. Is it going to Do I need to move the graphic a little bit here or there? Um, I think because you're always trying to capture as much as people's equity as you can. Their logos. Some logos are simple. Some logos are quite complicated, so you can't just you see other controller artists where they'll put the logo at like 300% and stick it on the whole controller, uh, which is okay, but it's for me, it's always about the aesthetics. It's like,
Yeah,
is it balanced? Does it feel? And also, if you notice, I'll always try and have one area where it's nice and smooth, and another area where it's got a little bit of texture to it, because
I have seen that on your
it's
designs. Yes, and I was
it's
like,
it's
is that on
always
purpose or is that just something,
yeah, because in my industry, because I'm an interior designer, you see, so
Yep.
I'm always trying to find tactile materials, because
Mm-hmm.
people are more like, they just want to touch it, because they can see it's got something that it feels like it's got something, so they'll want to touch it. Um, so it's always that's what draws people in, you see. That's why
So are you
people.
kind of then restricted to potential trends? So I know raw concrete was a trend at one point in terms of its tactile surface and its tactile look, sort of thing.
Do you know what
Or
I
or
know?
do you?
Do you know what I notice the most in some of my designs is a lot of people tend to use black and red.
Mm,
So a lot of my fan art tends
Mm.
to be black and red because people's logos are black and red. But
just
some,
like me right now.
Yeah, me as well. Not saying anything. I just love black and red. It's like a really nice combination of colors.
but then
And
I noticed over the years, like a lot of people have an attraction to orange, like
Mm.
like they love orange controllers, they love orange, and I was like, oh, that's quite bizarre, But um,
Do you think the
uh,
tastes are? I suppose they do evolve, isn't it? As everything evolves, as it progresses, sort of thing. Um, do you think? Do you find yourself also following traits and trends in some cases, or do you try and break out of those traits and trends to try
no,
and
I
push
just
your own designs?
push my own, because I think I use trends maybe in my real job, because obviously I
Hmm.
have to, and I have to use a lot of data capture.
Hmm.
But when it comes to fan art, like I said, there is no rules, and I think this the minute you can sort of put in your head that there is no rules, then you'll find
yeah.
you'll enjoy it a lot more.
So in a way, I'm not saying you don't enjoy your job. This is almost like a release because you're constricted due to your work
Yes,
with certain deadlines and certain restrictions. Where fan art is
well,
like
it's
it's a
brand
free for
equity
all.
I'm guided by. So when I'm working for Box or
Yeah.
Lacoste, I have to follow certain guidelines. I can't breach them guidelines. Like
Hmm.
that. So you're instantly restricted with like what you can and can't do. Like
That
So
kind of must be frustrating because you think I could make this so much.
it is. It's like when I'm.
I could make this so much better, but I can't. So therefore, I'm going to have to try and work around it based on these restrictions.
Well, it's a bit like Duracell, you know, when I'm working for them, everything's copper and black, and it's like
Oh yeah.
so like they're the only colors I can use. But how do you make something graphically
How
exciting,
many
you know?
different, 67 different shades of copper can you fluctuate between?
But you can't because you have to use a certain Pantone number.
Oh Christ! It's even that. It's even down to the round number. Is right. That's it. This is it. You've got a.
Exactly.
So are you making like the design of like let's say the battery then, or is the video, or how? What?
No, so
What?
uh, the battery is obviously the battery. Obviously, I can't change that process because it's a chemical formula that's been going for
Yeah, yeah,
hundreds
but
of
I
years, you know.
mean the thing around it,
Um,
like the plastic, right? Is stuff like that.
so I can maybe affect the packaging. I can
Mm-hmm.
maybe, but my level is when you go into a store, it's my job is to make you buy Duracell batteries.
Ah, okay.
So I maybe design the units that they sit in,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll create. So I also create. So you ever seen the film Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Yes.
Hmm.
where they go on this journey of the brand, you know? So they go in the chocolate river and
Uh-huh.
this,
Uh-huh.
and then they go on the boat and they go through and they go through. Like so I build them for real, and I design them for real, for
Wow.
brands. Um,
Mm-hmm.
in the very top secret facilities that I build, you know. But that's the best way I can describe what it is I do in
Okay.
real life. Um,
Satisfaction-wise, you must be. It must be in a way. Just at the end of it, it's kind of like a slight come down, satisfied before you're thrown back. I always say it's the calm before the storm.
do you know what it is? Because like my son would go, "Oh, my dad designed that." Like when you see like some of my products in store and stuff. Do you know what it is? It's the same reaction I get out of controllers. It's zero because I move on to the next one and I
Yeah,
move on to the next one and I move on to the next one. Like I can't become precious to one thing because um, you remember if I'm designing for Boss, I'm also designing for Lacoste. So
exactly.
Boss are saying make our product like the best, but then I've got another brief next to us saying from Lacoste saying make our aftershave the best. You know, like
Exactly. You are. It's.
I'm thinking, fucking hell, I'm trying to sell two brands here. They're both
It
trying to
could be
fight each other.
competing.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, that's with most artists. They cannot like fall in love with their artwork, if I'm saying
No.
correctly. Because yeah, you should like. It's same
It's
with
remaining neutral.
yeah, you have to remain neutral because it's also a game artist and like I think every artist in general, you have to basically like if they don't like it, you have to basically can have the emotions to just scrap it and start over.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I
I
mean
mean,
I
that's
suspect your designs, you must go through thousands of iterations alone.
yes.
Just revisions alone must be.
there's 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 there's, there's even console fan arts nobody's ever even seen that just gets straight put in the recycle bin.
Ooh,
Like
ooh, that's interesting.
like uh, because some days I could say like do 10 fan arts and they might roughly hit the nail on the head. Other days I might only do two or three because I've done 25 different versions just to get to that one because
Mm,
I'll go down and make a cup of coffee. I'll come back and go, oh, it's fucking shit. See, I broke 30 because I broke the 30-minute rule. You see,
yeah, yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than saving it and putting it away, I've seen it on my screen and thought, oh, what a load of shite that is. You know, like just get rid of it, start again, and I literally delete everything. Like I don't just salvage little bits. I literally just delete everything and then
But
start all over again.
that's the artist in you, isn't it? That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's the benefit and the curse.
But
Yeah, at the
in
same
real
time.
life, I mean, I can start a job for a client in January, and I'll not finish it until September, October.
Wow.
Mm.
So, and that's just one concept because you're going through so many different. Like I said before, you have to go through the marketing team, you have to go through the management team, you have to go through
And
the
they all
legal,
have their input, which is even probably more soul destroying when they all start putting their.
and then all it takes is like someone to go, well, I don't like green, and
Okay,
but
so what now?
this person's like, but this person's the fucking president of the brand, and you think,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and he's
I've been
and
there, not with obviously design, but I've had similar sort of things.
he's only just joined the team like near the end of the process, and you think, so you have to redo the whole lot all over again because the guy that's paying you doesn't like fucking green.
It's hard to. This is where I think I kind of the way I understand you a little bit. It's like the designs I've had. We've gone to points where we're just about to build something, and then the person in charge has been swapped over, and they've got a whole different concept they want. And it's like we've just spent 3 years designing something, and now we now have to restart again,
Mm.
and you have to continue with the same enthusiasm,
And
continue with the like
you,
same. You think,
you
well,
know,
okay.
mm, you know why they do that though, don't you? Because the person that's just come on board has also got to impress his boss.
Oh
So
yeah,
he
it's
can't
it's all
he
it's
can't take
it's.
ownership of the last person's ideas.
Interesting.
I'd be interested to see the internal politics if it's almost as bad as the industry I work in. The internal games, the internal politics is almost as part and parcel as designing stuff.
I think there's a lot more going on than we normal, like people that don't do this type of stuff. Because let's say I'm a bus driver, so that I just ride from point A to point B, so I don't deal with stuff like that, like you guys, like you do, Xbox Pope, I have to say. So most people don't even can imagine how that should feel. Like,
But then, but
It's
stuff like
it.
then, but then
Cool.
it's like before you mention about then it comes down to budget. It's like
Oh.
there's only so much money
Hmm.
you can spend. Well, you've used all your budget just getting to point B.
hmm
Now you've got to try and sacrifice elements within the design
Hmm.
to salvage some money because somebody's changed something that actually costs more to do. Um, so yeah, it's a huge clusterfuck of. But I would never change my job for the world. Like
hmm
it's super high pressure stuff that I do. Um, but the fan art, it's fantastic, and like I say, going back to the cost element of custom fan arts is when people say, "Will you make us a controller?" I'll do you fan art, but I'll not make it for you because once you find out how much it actually costs to make, you're going to be disheartened. Do you know what I mean? Because
It is, yeah.
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, custom work just costs a lot of money. Um, it, and it's like that across the board. You can go, like I say, you can go somewhere cheaper, not a problem. But give your controller about 4 weeks, and it'll be, I don't know, fallen paint will be coming off, or I don't know. The process you pay, like you said before, you pay for what you get, basically. Um, and it's the same within the design world.
hmm
Uh, there's materials that sometimes, like you say, I can't afford concrete. Well, what other material can I use that's going to give us the same strength? But
Exactly.
but it everything, and I knew this would happen when I released the controllers. Everybody loves things until they find out how much things cost. And one,
That is. I can't actually. There's a phrase. It's a perfect phrase. The irony is I've used the exact same sort of thing in the industry I'm dealing with. I think this is why I kind of understood the moment. in my head, it was like, oh, I know what the price is going to be. And then I was like, no, think about it carefully. You work in it's not in the same industry, but you work in a similar industry. It's like, yeah, actually.
Yeah, for me,
There is it's the kind of that blindsided fandom. It's like, I think it's going to be this. It's like, no, it's not. It's the reality, harsh, cold reality, which, as you said, until you see all the complications behind that, if you almost sat down and said, from here's stage A to here's the point where you get it delivered to your doorstep, and you showed them the entire process, people would be like, what the hell?
Yeah,
And you will get it for this price. To be like, uh, okay.
it's almost like if you plan, I want to go from Edinburgh to London, well,
Mm,
you've got you've got a couple of ways of doing that. You can either drive there,
mhm.
you you can get a plane, or you can get a train, or you can bike, or you can fucking walk if you want. But like,
Now, walking's going to be cheaper
so
for the
walking's
first
gonna
maybe day or two.
it's probably going to take you like a week to get there. But um,
yeah.
they all have their cost benefits,
Yeah,
but it's how you need to get from A to B in what time you need to be at A to B. It, and it's the same with design. It's how much it costs to get from A to B, and how much you need at the end of it to survive. Um, because
well, I mean,
Yeah,
remember, even
also,
even hobbies cost money.
oh God, yes.
yes, of course. This hobby that I'm doing, the podcasting stuff, that doesn't come cheap. Like, I run like Photoshop to run my thumbnails and stuff because I need to edit them. Like there are
Yes,
some free programs, but they don't do what Photoshop does. So to bring quality, I have to pay more. Then I have
exactly,
my headset that I paid a lot more for back in the day to have some quality sound. Like I still need to
exactly.
buy quality mic that also costs stuff. Then my webcam is also not cheap because it's the C920, which is like almost $100 or 150. I'm not even sure how much it is. I know it's pretty expensive.
That's with some of the licensing, the software. So before you know it, you've gone up to possibly $800 or $900
Yes.
just to do something what make people think, oh, it can be done very cheaply. And it's the same, quality
OnlyFans.
costs. It does.
Yeah,
Quality costs,
Yeah.
and
and the
I'm
thing
in a
is,
way I'm glad to hear that the experience has definitely. Do you I think as you said, you've learned a hell of a lot from the sounds of it from this experience, and you can streamline some areas, but it's glad to hear that you're potentially continuing with
oh
this
yeah,
experience.
definitely.
We can all streamline certain things, can't we?
I mean,
It's
there's
Yes.
elements of, I mean, the whole reason why I went top level in the first instance was it's easier to come down than it is to go up.
go big.
Um,
Yeah.
but I would never sacrifice the quality of the controller, so
Mm.
that's the only thing I can't sacrifice. Um,
And they do look amazing. That's another thing. It's like, look at them.
so the
As you
only
said, the buttons are slightly different on the A, B, C, so yeah, X, Y, and
Oh, really?
sorry. Yeah, no,
Oh.
yeah.
all right,
If you look at, didn't you put an image, Pope, with you said what you are getting, and if you read through that itself, it tells you quite clearly. This isn't just a
they're
standard
not.
controller.
I mean, what you've got to remember is the side grips are all customized as well. Because obviously
Yeah,
I've had spray paint go around the controller, um, plus the triggers, the thumbsticks. They've all had to be kind of like you don't buy a controller that's got one thumbstick green and one stick like black. You can't. They don't
no,
just come up. They can't come off the shelf like that. Like um, so it's I have I have thought of everything to make these as beautiful as I can for the community.
and to be fair, they do look amazing.
Uh, and if I showed you some of the earlier examples, it's quite embarrassing really because it was like what a load of shit,
Well, you may say it's embarrassing because you're the artist, you're the critic. We would probably still go, "Oh my God, I want it."
Yeah,
That's the irony, isn't it? It is,
it's
because
funny
as you said,
because as I was building up this whole thing, I was sharing some of the earlier stuff with certain people just to
mm,
get just to get their feedback. So it's like, what do you think of this? Would you buy this? And it was like, fucking hell, I. Anyway, I end up scrapping it. You know what I mean? I was just like,
that's the
uh,
irony. That's your critical artistic eye, though, isn't it? As you said, you are your own worst critic.
yeah. But I mean, uh, I've got some. So, like I said, I've got these big game developers that I'm working with. I've got. I am going to be doing some PC art stuff soon. Um,
Wow.
Ooh.
I know I did get some requests for some Switch art and that, but I don't know. In very a lot of comments I had for the Elite, would I do some stuff for the Elite? Well, possibly, but I'm just a bit scared of doing stuff for the Elite because they still have like problems. So I'm just worried.
Are you thinking maybe that might be an idea? Maybe just say middle of next year when things have all
Well, yeah,
tied down, everything's been
because
finalised.
because it's
Yeah.
it's easier it's easier for people to display a controller than it is to display an Elite controller because like you'll definitely want to play using the Elite.
Yes, the Elite V2, right? It still has
Yes,
problems, but it's like so nice to play. The control is
exactly,
quality in its own
and I and
right.
I and I, and I don't really want to affect that. Do you
Hmm.
know what I mean? So I- I'm a bit nervous about doing an Elite controller designs
Yeah,
only for that.
but
That I think it's already too good that it doesn't need anything. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know what you're
no,
saying.
it's
Plus,
beautiful.
actually, the standard controllers, it's a wider landscape of players. I mean, there are people out there who have the elite controllers and they swear by them. As you said, Flemish, you think it's amazing, aren't they? They are fantastic. Not
Oh,
everyone owns
Yes.
elite controller though, where nine people out of 10 will own, or say it's the standard controller, but it's the controller that comes with the console. So they're easier to
yeah.
envisage, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
But
it's not only that. Like if you have the Elite control, they put so much passion into that project because you have also the package where it comes in. That's actually also a chargeable like box. You just put the control in and it charges if you plug in the
yeah,
cable on the back. Like there's so much into.
exactly. And I and
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Because
Hmm.
like, why if someone wants to do an Elite, go somewhere else because like I'm not really that interested. But I will do. I will be doing PS5 controllers and I will be doing
Yes.
next generation Xbox controllers, but I can only do that when the numbers are available. Because, like you say,
Yeah.
I'm having to buy 3,000 controllers. Like I kind of just go to GameStop and say, "Give us 3,000 controllers, mate." Like you have to go to certain places to do that, and everyone might think it's going to Xbox. You don't go to Xbox, like. um,
No, you go at the factories where they're made, right?
it's very very complex where you have to go. So
Okay.
Remember, factory where it's made, that's just putting it together. That's not the
Yeah, that's where they
materials.
put together. They don't get all the parts together. Like they come from different
Hmm.
factories.
Yep.
yeah,
They probably have the components also from different factories because it's like so. There's
yeah.
actually there's a lot more going on with that. Like
It's super. Honestly, it trying to find the information
huh,
originally
what?
was like you think I was asking for a fucking secret, like the secret recipe to Coca-Cola.
Well, to be honest with you, think about it. Xbox's controllers. Did Xbox help in any way? Give you, or, to not give you a little bit of guidance? Because again, you've hit the nail on the head. It is almost a secret sauce. They are really good controllers, so they
Yes.
don't want it being replicated.
Well, put it this way: when when I asked, it wasn't go here, ask this person. It was like, we just get them done, and that was it. Like, there is no name. They don't give you names.
Yeah,
Like,
that sounds about right.
Did you give a
so
nudge to Phil maybe? Like, hey Phil, can you like help me out over here?
do you know what it is? Because it's quite bizarre. Because I do speak with Phil. He's not really that genned up when it comes to
What do you
where
mean?
to buy fucking controllers from. Like,
Well, he's at the top end. He deals with. I don't think he deals with the software or hardware elements. He's probably got quite a few people below him that deal with those aspects and
Yeah,
just give him
so
reports.
he's the head, so he goes for like what's going on with the generation, what's going on
Yeah,
with where
I
are we
mean,
headed in like 5 years?
I mean,
How do we get there? What do we need to do for that? So he's around that part, but he's
I
mm,
not
mean, I will
into.
give credit. I will give credit to people like Jason Rowland, who obviously designed the Series X and stuff like that. He's been a
Um,
big he's been a big support, and David Bryan, the guy who did the Elite, he's even Seamus Blackley, the, the godfather of Xbox, has helped
so
supporters. And
wow. I mean, these people. I mean, these are not easy to reach people as well.
well, they are for me.
yeah,
Yeah, for you,
probably.
yeah, for you, definitely.
Like
I
if
mean,
Well,
I,
that
let's
that
say I want
knowledge there.
to, yeah, let's say I want to get someone on the phone, like, hey, can I, like for me that would be impossible.
I mean, I do speak quite regular with them,
Hmm.
and they've all been super supportive. Because they know how much I put into the community, they know how much the
Yeah.
community loves.
Hmm.
Um, you know, but there's only so much they can help with as well. And um, so some elements I have had to resort to other people with maybe like the custom controllers.
Hmm.
They've been helping us source materials and
Hmm.
places where I can maybe look at, because I remember at the beginning it was always about, it's not the guy in his little garage or his bedroom spray painting his.
No,
They have to be premium. They have to be top end stuff. Where do I go?
and
It's
finding that information out isn't easy, is
no,
it? And
it's like trying to crack the Enigma code.
so,
Believe
do you
me.
think,
So
in a way, now that you've done this, do you think? Obviously, as you said, it's easy. It's the next one's going to be next set. Maybe it's going to be easier depending if you continue it. Do you think this is the chain almost set up now to a point where you're happy with it? And in some cases, do you think now maybe Xbox and PlayStation will look at you and go, maybe we should just outsource to you directly?
Do you know, when I think what's going to happen is, yes, we've got a process now. Can we
Mm,
tweak it? Obviously, we can, because
hmm.
uh, ProBot will gradually develop into like a proper brand. Um,
yes.
and off the back of these big two announcements, that these big, huge game companies where things will get shown off,
Hmm.
that'll boost both XboxPope and so on. So um, I can see things becoming a lot easier to produce. The quality will never change,
As
but
the name and brand evolves and
but
increases.
what it will also allow us to do is to be able to reach to further people, because I can bring costs down. I can bring, and once we get rid of COVID, and production's a lot easier
Oh, the materials, yeah. Just in that
to
alone, once that kind of stops, I think we both know it's going to be so much easier. I mean, as I said, I'm impressed you managed to do this at a time when even just raw materials is hard to get, at least
honestly,
in
the
the UK.
amount of times I, I've worked hard for this community, and I've never give up because of the community. But the amount of times I've thought, nowadays, what the fuck am I doing? Like,
Well, I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you
like,
persevered because it is appreciated.
like,
Yeah.
why am I even
So
continuing this? Just because it has been
it's
so difficult, you know.
I want to ask one more question because we're going at the 2 hour mark and I do need to wake up earlier tomorrow. So uh, today will not be a 5 hour stream. For saying,
There's
but
always
no,
next time.
yeah, there's always next time.
Please do
Oh,
come on next
do
time because
yeah.
it's just engaging with you and understanding. I think even with the community itself, this is going to be. I'd like to hope this podcast itself will inform them of the such of the intricacies that you've and the
But
strifes and struggles you've had to do to get these controllers out.
it's not just about me as well, though. It's about design as a process.
Yeah,
Um, some people might find that quite interesting. You know, using the psychology and the things that are involved in marketing and like I've
you
got
could do a
so
whole TED talk on this alone, just on just.
Yeah, actually, what's is that the talk like they
It is a
sometimes
TED
do?
talk, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. That
like
would
it's
be
so much
interesting.
like you got to remember is I know every shopper type, so I
Hmm.
can target anything to anybody and sell it to them. So the
Oh,
second I find out what type of shopper you are, like you're really done for, like because I
I'm the
okay.
can
yellow
literally
sticker.
So I got one more question before we're gonna have some things from the chat that have been said about you that I really want to bring over from the people because I guess you haven't read chat yet, Xbox Pope. Am I correct?
I've seen it a little bit, but not too much.
Okay, so I'll bring it to you in an easy fashion about it. And yeah, the last thing I wanna ask, like these controllers, like you can play them, they will not smudge up. The design will stay beautiful. That's what's gonna happen, right? It's not just some.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to make sure, because
They're designed to be played with, not just sit on a
I'm
shelf.
intent to use one if I'm gonna buy
I
one
mean,
at the end of the year if they're still
I mean,
available. So.
obviously I've designed them more on the emphasis of display, but I've backed it up on the emphasis of making sure it's. I mean, it's a brand new controller, you know. It's
Yes.
and the obviously the design is protected with a UV mask, if
Mm-hmm.
let's say. Now there was two types. There was a matte finish, and I even did them in soft touch. Um, you
Oh
know,
my god.
like the felt, so it feels like super soft. Um, but I abandoned the super soft because um, over time it kind of slightly wears.
Yeah.
Um, so I went for more durability than the tactile soft touch feel. Um,
Oh, that's cool. Like it's
and
yeah.
is it going to last you 10 years? Well, it's going to last you as long as you take care of it. If you're going to be hard and throw it around your bedroom, then it's probably not going to last very long. But if you're going to treat it like a lady and be nice and gentle with her, then it's going to be okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's fun to tell. I'll also give you feedback when I get my controller and I play with it a little bit. So I'll probably put it up on the stream, show it off, and
You'll
uh,
never play with it. I
I'll
guarantee
play
you.
with it, man. I'm not gonna display a controller that I buy for.
See, you're the opposite. I'll
Um,
play it for probably about 30 minutes and then it will never be touched again and it'll be nicely kept. Don't you dare.
Like I will
I've
probably still play my Xbox Elite controller probably like till that breaks. But
I've
no,
got
I will
I
probably
think
use
I've
that
got
controller
I've
as a second control, maybe for upstairs on my PC because
do you
that's
know what it
also.
is? Do you know what it is? I've got eight um elite controllers and
God, Jesus.
and, and four of them are elite V2s, and I've never played with an elite V2 yet. I still use me still
Oh, you need
old
to.
I still use me old elite.
No, it's better. It's better overall. The triggers on the back are metal, not plastic anymore. Like those
Do you know
four.
Because I
Clip.
don't want to open the box, so that's the thing.
But
He
so
wants to keep
much
them in pristine
easier.
condition, and I can
But
fully
you have
understand
4.
that.
You have 4. Why not
It's
just
like my
one?
it's like my Sea of Thieves controller. It's never been out the box.
Oh my god. When I buy a controller, I intend to use it whatever happens.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a little bit more expensive. That's what I
No, I
do.
think I have a similar sort of thing. If when it's the pristine and the most prestigious items,
Hmm.
you kind of just go, "I've touched it now. It's real, and now I'm going to place it away and look at it and just admire it." Yeah, I'm a bit like that. I can't do. I feel. Do you know what it is? My worried I'd break something or scratch something, and then I'd be mortified.
Oh.
That's my worry. That's what I would be like.
But you don't
No,
need to
no.
do that. I have learned this over the year. I have some trouble back in the time, right? I've have had some terrible things happen to me as a person, and I had to like leave everything a couple of times, I would say. So when I buy something, I don't intend to like I will drop this somewhere sometime. So I don't like put too much like effort into like cherishing it anymore.
I
I
know what I
just
mean. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't
Because
have
you
that
never know
feeling
what's going to
anymore.
happen, so therefore you're going to enjoy the moment while you have it.
Yeah, that's what I do, and I always do
Yeah.
that with my stuff. But I don't like if I need to sell it off, I will sell it off. I don't feel bad for it.
If you
Um,
don't want your Xbox Pope controller, you're more than welcome to pass it to someone who will have it. 'Cause
if I don't intend to use it anymore, I want to sell it. I'll probably give it away on my channel. That's what I'm going to do to make
that's
someone else
probably a
happy.
wise move. Yeah,
To make
indeed.
someone else happy. I will say
I'm
it's
surprised. I'm
used.
surprised they're not on eBay.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's another thing. Actually, it's a quick question before we move into the chat, because I know there's a lot of people who want to speak to you, Pope, regarding the chat. How are you going to stop scalpers in some regards?
It's it's just impossible to do, isn't it?
You can't. You can't. You can only make a bot that, if there's a control coming up with a high price.
Well, I suppose if you see one person buying 15 controllers, you kind of got to go and hang on a minute. If people are, I mean, you could probably say, okay, one or two, without some sort of identification, because I suppose that's what they can do is they can go in and go, right, I'm going to buy 15 straight on eBay.
But I will tell you something. Removable setting. Not it's like with a little bit of backlash he had, right?
Hmm.
Don't you think like if they go more expensive on eBay that people will like really turn it off?
Do you know what? If they appear on eBay, I'd be one absolutely livid, because it's like,
Yeah, me too. I would like put it on Twitter and say like, hey, uh, let's do something about it. But
Xbox has designed these for the community.
mhm.
Hacking the price up is unacceptable. I mean, I don't like it for consoles. I don't like it for anything really.
No,
Scalpers shouldn't be doing it.
the video cards is also something like they made bots for it, so they go up in prices, like with
Mm.
bits, right? And just make them insane prices, so no one will buy them. But
Anyway, I think we
yeah,
probably should get to the chat, because I think the
yes.
chat's going to kill us.
So we got a few things first that I want to say. Like Noof Nukem came in the chat, and he said Xbox Pope fucking legend. So that's something I wanted to tell you. Also, fun
uh,
speculation. Yeah, do you want to say something?
yes, he's Noof's a legend. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He also came on the stream a couple of weeks ago. So, and he's really fun to talk to, man. He has so much energy. Also, his voices that he does for Arnold and Cletus
And
are so fun.
he's got he's got what I call a potty mouth.
Yeah, he's not the
He's got
nicest person out there.
he's got some rude jokes.
Yeah, but he's fun, man. He goes for the fun part. And then we got fun speculation saying the Pope's designs are top tier. By the way, I like the website. It's simple and clean, and Pope is for the people. That's what
Yeah,
fun speculation said.
that's
And
Hmm.
then
what
we
we
have
that's what he works
Intellion.
for.
Say it again. Sorry.
That's what XboxPope works for, the people.
Yeah, that's what I feel as well. There's a lot of
He does a
people.
bloody good job of it.
Yes, yes, he's really for community, and that's something we really feel.
His
Um,
voice might come back soon.
yes. And then we have Italian Clowns that said, "Tell Pope I said hello. Tell Pope his buddy Clowns is in the chat. He has done 3 controls for me. Pope Flamish won't let me say hi."
He was getting a little bit testy. He wanted to say hi to you. I think
Yeah.
he really does appreciate you, and he really does enjoy your artwork.
It's
Yes.
funny because I try my hardest not to do repeat people, but sometimes you just can't turn people away, you know. So yeah, I have done clowns a few times, I think.
3 times
um,
it also.
but
And
yeah, I do. If it goes more of yeses again, I would tell them to fuck off. Like, but
so now you
it's
know, Clowns, don't ask him again. And then he also said like it was he misses playing Siege with you and Harvey.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, he knows where I am. Just send us a
Oh,
message.
There you go.
oh, that would be fun to stream as well. Hmm, interesting.
But no, like I say, I'm a down to earth guy. I'm a fun guy. Don't take nothing serious.
Hmm.
So it's nice that people treat me in the same way, you know. Um, because to be fair, life really is too short.
Mm.
Um,
Yes, it's true. And also, guys, for again, I'll put in the chat if you want to buy a controller. There are 11 of them, and they're really beautifully designed by him over the years. Because not from this year alone, right? It's from over the years, like the best designs you thought were possible for the controls.
and what obviously they are game inspired because that's the whole idea. Fan art, it's you know, but obviously
Yes.
I can't put branded equity on for copyright, you
No,
know. But and also what I can't say is what game inspired them.
there are certain
Yeah, those.
caveats you have to say.
But I think
Yeah,
a lot of people have figured a lot of people have figured them out, you know. Um,
I think there's a
Even one of the
few
brands, if I
games that
remember
we
correctly.
know. Yeah.
well, even yeah, the Cyberpunk guys just said it's one of the best controllers that they've ever seen.
I mean, that's what
So,
happens if you do for 30 years and you bring your own passion and style into it. People will like it.
but I
Uh,
mean, the Xbox did good on their controller as well, you know. So,
yeah,
um,
yeah, they're uniquely designed. Like the Sea of Thieves one, it's a really good one. The
there's no
Cyberpunks one
winners
as
or
well.
losers, you know.
Hmm.
It,
Is it
it's it's just I just do mine different to other people. That's all.
is it actually one design they used for the controller, or maybe an iteration of it that they talked to you about?
Who Xbox?
Yeah.
No, they've not approached me to
Okay.
make any of my designs, but there might be something in the future.
Fingers crossed, people. Fingers crossed.
And the
Uh,
last thing that Italians said, Italian clan said, like, also one day I will pray to the Holy Pope for the Xbox Series X fan art when he's got time. Never had the Series X yet.
he has. He's a liar. He's got a Series X.
Oh.
One thing I think I'd like to say, at least, and I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I hope that everybody would follow my same sentiment, is that regardless of the last couple of days, and sometimes even regardless of the backlash, do believe from the deepest from your heart that the gaming community does appreciate you. So we
In
hope you don't
fact,
take.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly DM Flemish right now. Clowns' Series X, so you
Oh,
can put it.
actually.
You can so you can put it on the stream.
Wow.
So
Oh.
you just show that and prove to him that he has got a Series X.
Oh, I will do that. Hold on. By the way, you have
Clowns.
to email me this as
I
well.
I I think he fell asleep because I know he tends to fall asleep a lot.
There he goes. Like he's gone. Yes, do it.
You have to send me this as an email because I cannot like save that image.
Oh, how do I send it to you as a mail then?
Yeah, as a mail, just.
Oh,
But I can maybe go to Photoshop and like real quick. So tell me where we can find you, Xbox Pope. I already put the website in like 3 times in chat, so I
yeah,
think that's
just
covered.
I think obviously the best is just Xbox Pope on Twitter or and on Instagram as well. I mean, my Instagram's pretty big, but um,
Oh yes.
I tend to just use that as a holding page really,
Hmm.
because obviously you know Twitter, things kind of disappear quite fast.
Oh damn!
Um,
Resolution. What's the resolution of that image?
might be a bit big for you.
Yeah.
um,
Uh, oh
Well,
no.
regardless,
Oh
I'd
no.
like to
I
say
can
anyway.
scale it. I can scale it. Sorry.
It's good. It's fantastic to have you on, honestly, and just hearing how the struggles and also the processes you use to do these controllers is intriguing, interesting.
yeah,
And it is, and as I said previously, I do believe the gaming community really does appreciate everything you do for them, and most of us understand the reasoning why these controllers are the price they are. This podcast will definitely illuminate those who maybe have had some doubts in terms of the process, and so they can understand better. But generally, I can't say. I think most people would believe that you're a down to earth, honest person who always seems to bring smiles to everybody. And
yeah.
I really hope you don't stay too silent too much longer. Get your voice out there because we want to hear it, and we always enjoy your thoughts and
Okay.
designs.
I think that's all it is. It's just that I just took things a little bit too
Uh,
to heart, and it's.
no, I think that's a good. I think to be honest with you, it's a
I
fair
think
point.
I think do you know when you put so much effort, so much sweat and tears, and you when you feel you've let some you've let somebody down or let people down, you kind of take it a lot personally.
I
Uh,
don't think you have let anyone down. I can understand why people are a little bit frustrated through the situation that funds aren't always there. But I don't think you really have let anyone down. You have done from the best you could possibly do, and at least I can see from what you've discussed now, it's the best you can possibly do,
Okay.
and I just say thank you for it.
but things will get better. Things will get easier. Just
Exactly.
it just takes time.
By the way, can I keep this
Hey,
hostage?
see, he has got a Series X.
He's put on it. It is real. I fell asleep and forgot.
He's
That's like
he's a
his problem, I have to
How could
say.
you fall asleep knowing that was out there? Honestly.
he's a little tinker, I tell you. No, but
I'm
I
just
do.
gonna keep this hostage.
I do. No, I love everyone a lot. And I do work hard for the community, so it's nice.
Well, without a doubt, I don't think I've seen anyone put as much effort into just making someone smile as much as you do. And it
It's
is
uh, it's nice to get the support.
It's
you've got support in a lot of places where I don't think you probably realise you have,
I think
because
people need to realize I'm an old man who's soft as shit. I've got
and we want
before.
to keep you around being soft as shit for as many bloody years as we can.
The thing is, my heart's too big. You see.
Nothing wrong with that. Trust me. There is. I'd rather have you have a big heart than someone who's cynical. That's what we need right now. We need people with big hearts. So don't you lot out there, don't you dare leave him alone.
Yay, and that's why you have Flemish as well. Yay!
Exactly.
I'm the
No, honestly, it really is appreciative for you to come on and have a chat with us.
No
It
worries.
really
Well,
yes.
is.
I'm
I'm
conscious Flemish needs to go to bed, and I need to go to bed.
Oh,
I've got, I've got,
I need to talk to someone else about doing something. So, before I go to bed, I have like
and then
15
I've
minutes.
got, I've got lots of fan art to do this week. So
Oh, Just
Oh.
make sure you look for that list and see if anyone from like Clowns is in there again.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got. Sorry, I've got clowns blocked, man. It's fine.
I was thinking Xbox Pope, just an afterthought about my design, right? That you did. Like if you take out the logo on the controller, right? Maybe that's some thinking for later.
Let him go to sleep. Come
I'll
on,
let
come
it
on.
go
Let
to
the guys.
sleep. No,
He's got
man, it
enough
was.
to. He's got numerous blooming art to deal with.
Thing is, what you could do is because you're an expert in Photoshop, is you can just
Oh no,
airbrush that out.
an expert graphic artist teaching me every week, and he retaliate like in exchange. I'm learning him how to speak Dutch.
Well, up in the left corner, you've got what's called it looks like a little sticky plaster.
Yeah.
So it's the healing brush. So just pick that up
Ah.
and just waft it over the top, and it'll disappear.
Okay, I'll try that. That's
It's a little
cool.
heal. It's called a healing brush, but
Okay, I'll
you'll
try that later. That's cool. No, man,
it'll
but
take.
I'm gonna let you indeed go to sleep, man.
No worries. Well,
It
thanks for
was
the invite.
really nice having you. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for
Yeah.
doing this. And to Boom, I want to say sorry I stole your spotlight.
No, because
We'll still be watching it. Trust me.
Yeah, me
I've got
too.
his audience as well. So it's nice that between the 2 years you're letting us come on and explain.
I think no, more voices to hear this, and I think it needs to be said.
Listen,
Because I think people need to understand. And it's just they just it's if you're not in the industry, you're never going to understand. And so this needs to be mentioned. I think it will only be a benefit later, and if they're logical, they will see and understand that.
and it's not about holding people at gunpoint.
No,
You buy if you want, you don't if you don't. Like I'm not precious, I'm not gonna
well,
go
to us,
crying.
some of the gaming community, you are,
I'm not gonna
whether you
go
think of it or not.
cry about it.
And the last thing I want to say before we end the show, two things. Is first Clown saying that you can also go on Four Guys with Quarters if you want. That's his show that he runs. And the last
I've
thing.
been trying to get on that for years, man.
Come on, clowns, chop chop.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to say, guys, thank you all for watching. And if you know what I always say at the end of almost every show, is stay positive and stay happy. I'll see you guys later.
Right, thank you guys. Bye.
Have a good one.